Hamburg's port has always employed people from all over the world. Many Portuguese workers came here in the mid-1960s. Today, Hamburg's Portuguese community numbers around 10,000. Most live in an area right behind the harbor. At the local Casa Madeira restaurant, diners come from all walks of life. The menu includes traditional Portuguese dishes like stockfish. These days, there's often heated debate over the economic crisis in Portugal and the failures of the politicians. But there's one point on which all are agreed.
If we're in the EU and it's meant to be a community, then I think it's okay to help each other. Today it's Portugal, tomorrow it could be Germany.
In Portugal itself, the mood is gloomy. The country has seen repeated austerity packages, tax increases, and job cuts, and there's no end in sight. In the early years, Portugal benefited greatly from joining the European Union. The economy grew steadily right up until the late 1990s, with annual growth rates of nearly 5%. But it later became clear that Portugal was heavily dependent on EU subsidies. As they dried up, so did economic growth. Now Portugal has applied for the EU's assistance. In Frankfurt, no one was surprised when the cry for help finally came. But economist Jörg Kremer believes giving billions to Portugal is the wrong way to go.
Here you have a country that didn't want to save in the past, now asking for help. Economically, we're sending completely the wrong signal. I find it regrettable, and it's a further step towards a transfer union, which creates incentives for member states to run up huge debts in the future. I think it's a highly questionable move.
And one which will not solve the problem in itself. The European aid comes with conditions attached. Portugal will have to introduce more austerity measures, which will further impede growth.
It will take time for new jobs to be created, for prices to adjust. It will be linked with a deep recession.
Back in Hamburg's Portuguese district, many of the young people here are relieved to be living in Germany. They know that the younger generation in Portugal is facing difficult times. The country is likely to take decades to pay off its debts. Claudia Enriquez was born in Germany, but regularly visits Portugal, where her parents come from. She feels torn by the Portuguese crisis.
You notice people's attitude when you go there. And I think unless we have a fundamental change of heart, we won't be able to change anything in Portugal. It's difficult. Things aren't good. But I think they can make it if they're willing to do what it takes.
So many here are concerned about what will happen in Lisbon, even though in Hamburg the crisis still seems far away.